Welcome into the Desert Vibe. Pleasure to have everybody here, and want to thank everybody who's watching and listening for supporting us and for helping us grow over the past several months. And I'm very much looking forward to what's coming in the future. I know what's coming in the immediate future. It's going to be one Annie Moscow, but I'm Glenn Gardner.
I'm Walt Richardson,
I'm Jamie Ray.
and we have on as our special guest today we have Annie Moscow. And I'm gonna tell you this right now: there's a lot of questions and a lot of ways we are gonna approach this interview from this from the aspect that this is a very talented person who it would take quite a few interviews for us to get close to even understanding the the depth and the length and the time and all that kind of stuff of her talent. So it's good to have you on board here, Annie.
Thank you.
Nice to see you. And I'm going to mention too that after we finish up talking with Annie, we will run through our usual palette of what's happening in Arizona musically, and there is a lot going on as we move into this time of year. So make sure you stay for the whole show because there's lots to talk about, but certainly a ton to talk about with Annie Moscow. And Annie, you have really lived the musical life, I think, that a lot of people aspire to, where you've managed to, make a living at this, make music your main focus. Have you ever held a job outside of music?
I've attempted to. I think
Good answer.
held might be a loose word. I think the longest I've had a non-music job would be maybe a year, but generally 6 months or under. And that was like right out of college when I was just trying to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
But
does that
otherwise,
correlate?
it's
How does that correlate to relationships? I'm joking.
Well, you know, I'm single. No.
yeah.
Sometimes there's a pattern there.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
I'm messing with you. No.
I told you Bad Walt was going to show up today.
Bad
See what I
walk.
have to
Bad,
put up
yeah.
with? I have to put up with this weekly.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So, what has been your progression? I mean, did you know early on that for some odd reason you were attracted to this? It was gonna be music. You were always musical, or is it something that developed later on? What has your progression been as far as you're a kid and here you are, truly a professional, where you have published some very very great works, and you've worked for Disney, and you've done all this cool stuff. Always, or it just happened?
Well, I started off as a pianist. I grew up on the East Coast in a relatively protective Eastern European household. And I loved music and I loved Joni Mitchell. I loved the Beatles. I loved all these singer-songwriters, Billy Joel, Sting. But my parents, all they knew of music as far as a career path or a way to go was classical. So I walked the classical path. I studied with really good teachers. I was playing Chopin. I was doing concerts in high school, studying all Ravel, Debussy. And I loved it. And it's never what I really wanted to do, but it's all that was being offered to me. So I semi-reluctantly walked that route. And I went to college to study to become a concert pianist. And after college, I married someone doing what I'd always wanted to do, and he was playing the jazz and the pop and the singer-songwriter stuff. And it's like, oh, I want to do that. But musically, all I could play with Chopin. I was good at it, but I wasn't being really creative. Although I did study jazz in college as well with the great David Baker. So I'm not saying I fell off a log, but it was mostly classical. And so I became my husband's lyricist because he was the one who knew how to produce the music and knew how to write for pop more. But I had always been a poet and he needed a lyricist, so it was like a perfect musical marriage there. And he was great, and we ended up getting really, really great writing opportunities. We wrote for some big artists, we wrote for Disney for a while. And it wasn't until I was like in my mid 30s, I said, I'm going to write my own songs, music and words. And I started teaching myself how to play not like a concert pianist. In fact, okay, funny story with Walt. A number of years ago, we were going to do something together. We were talking about maybe doing some reggae or something, and Walt looked at the way I was playing and he goes, "You play like a concert pianist." And I'm like, "Well, duh," and he goes, "No, no, 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 no," and Walt showed me a different way of playing and a different way of approaching the music, and not like I took all the advice like completely at heart, but I did take some of it at heart, and I realized that what I was trained doing my whole young life was not perfectly compatible with wanting to get out there in the pop arena. So I've had a lot of training, and not necessarily it hasn't necessarily all served me, but now I've been, spending the rest of my life trying to come into the arena where I really enjoy.
And but are you glad, looking back on it now, that you had that classical training? Because I can hear it in
Right,
your songs. I mean, there's some very complex stuff going on
right.
that in generally in the strictly pop world you wouldn't necessarily hear.
Well, I mean, I I'm grateful and I appreciate it, and it does make what I do its own thing. So yeah, I'm happy about it, but it's been a long journey making the circle and finding my way into not being so classical.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
you said you've written for other artists and major projects. So
yeah.
before stepping into your own spotlight
Hmm.
from doing that, what what made you say to yourself, well, it's time for my story? When did that chapter, when did you decide I've got to do what I want to do now?
Um, when I realized nobody else was gonna put out the music and words that I was writing and I was feeling, there was, I might get a placement here and there, but nobody was gonna do it the way my heart wanted to put it out there. And like I said, I started as a co-writer with my husband and my ex-husband, and we had a hit children's album in 1994, which actually got the attention of Disney, which is how we ended up with Disney. And it was, a wonderful album. I'm really proud of it. And we were being offered different deals. Could you write more? Could you do more children's music? Could you do more children's? And at that time, there was a lot in my life and in our relationship that wasn't going so well. And I'd been, like I said, a poet and a lyricist my entire life since I was like 3. And that's how I express myself, even if it was for nobody. I would write all this stuff. So I had this pile of lyrics just amassing in my husband's studio. I said, "Write some music to this. This is going to be a great song. Write some music." And he said, "Yeah, yeah, just leave it on my desk." And the pile got to be like over a couple years, and I know he never looked at it. And in retrospect, it's probably good. But it was like nobody nobody is gonna put these songs out there. I need to do it myself. So I started sneaking back my lyrics
Okay.
from the pile.
Yeah.
And when he wasn't home, I would go to the piano and just kind of play and mess around and write songs. And when friends came over, and there's one friend in particular, but every time they came over, what are you doing? What are you writing now? I'm like, oh, check this out, you know. And so I had my friends were cheerleaders, and my husband had no idea.
Hmm.
And within like less than a year, I'd written my whole first album. And he was a producer, and I was like really shy. I was like you and your crush from the stage. I was like, could you would you listen to these? You know, and I didn't even play them for him. I put them on a cassette, and he was blown away. And he said, "We got to get these recorded." So I'm like, okay, you know, and he recorded my first album, and it did really well, and the rest is history.
That's awesome.
But
That's
yeah,
awesome. I
yeah,
love that story. And you've had
thank you.
6 albums now, right?
I do. Yeah,
Awesome.
I do.
So what keeps live performance exciting for you after all these years?
It's the most fun thing.
It
You
is.
know, you know that.
I know
It's
that.
the most fun thing.
It is.
Um, I I love the energy feedback, you know, with the audience. And I used to always play solo up until a few years ago, and I started finding musicians that I enjoyed playing with. And now I don't even, I mean, I will sometimes, I'll go at it alone, but usually I love playing with other
Yeah.
people because there's even that much more energy exchange. And my favorite
Different
instrument,
energies. Different
right?
energies. Yeah.
Right. And my favorite instrument is the cello.
Mm.
And the first time I had a cello on stage with me, I couldn't even play because I was like, oh, that's so beautiful. Yeah, I was like really distracted. So now I will always have at least a cello with me
That's cool.
wherever I go. Or, I mean, not always, but I try to. Like I said, it's my favorite.
Yeah. And has there ever been an audience, a particular audience or time that the audience really surprised you with their reactions, or has it always kind of been the same, or has there been that special moment with that one audience or one show that you can remember was just a standout moment?
You know, it's every show is completely different. And I'm always, I don't know if surprised is the right word or shocked, but people that will come up to me and say certain things or how something touched them, or sometimes I'll sing a song that I don't think is a sad song, and I'll look out there and there's more than
Yeah.
one person crying. And it's like, oh, you know, and then I remember how deeply I felt when I wrote it, and I might have played it 500 times, so it's not that for me anymore, but it's reaching out and grabbing somebody else that way, and it's really powerful.
What about when
So
you play with
I love
me? Isn't that special?
every moment, Glenn.
I thought so.
Every single moment.
I have a few questions here. I'd like to hear you, you know, share with the world, and they're not necessarily in order, but I'll try to find it. How long have you lived here in Arizona? Where were you before you moved here?
I've been here 30 years, and before here I was in Los Angeles for about probably about 8 years.
Hmm.
And before that, I grew up in the tri-state area. They call it New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. I lived in all those places. I was born in New
Right.
York.
What was the
Yeah.
music scene like in each of those places?
Um, I got married to a musician when we were living outside of Philly. And we were teetering whether to move to New York City or to move to Los Angeles.
Hmm.
And we decided on Los Angeles because, well, we'd been in New York our whole lives, but it's different.
Hmm.
I don't know the exact words. It's different. Um, But I will say this. I've been in Arizona 30 years and I've gone back to both those places. And okay, I first moved to Phoenix from Los Angeles. And at the time, 30 years ago, there was a lot more going on here than in Los Angeles. If you weren't Keith Urban or somebody like that, in Los Angeles, it was getting really pay to play.
Mm.
The clubs were really sewn up. And here, there were just so many clubs and great people everywhere, and not all of them were world famous. There were more opportunities here than there were in Los Angeles. In Los Angeles, greats were playing weddings and bar mitzvahs just to survive.
Mhm.
There just wasn't the work. And another thing I found really interesting is the open mic scene in Arizona is spectacular. And a lot of the musicians are heads and tails above some open mics I went back to in Los Angeles or New York. I would be visiting, I'd stop in at an open mic and I'd say, and I'd expect to, see all this amazing talent. And there was a lot that was not. And Arizona definitely has great people and has nothing to be shy about compared to those other two cities.
Why do you think that is about Arizona?
Um, I don't know. Maybe because a lot of the musicians at the at the open mics and at these clubs are a little bit older and they're not looking to get to the next step of their big stardom career. They're not as hungry as people in, maybe some of the bigger cities, and they're saying, I like it here.
Hmm.
I like it here. I want to raise my family. And it's not that they're any less, it's just that they've kind of settled in and there's places for them to play. I
Yeah.
don't know. What do you think?
Oh, I'm interviewing you.
Okay.
I think it's
But
because
I want to
I think
know.
it's
I want to
because
know.
the
I think I
legend
think
Walt
you I
Richardson
think I
lives
think
here.
you're
That's
Yeah.
what I
I
think.
think you're hitting the nail on the head and the aspects of why um, the music scene is what it is here, and has gone through some evolutions, but it's still very present. So a couple more things I wanted to ask about you.
Yeah.
You mentioned the name. You mentioned the children's album that's doing well, but I never heard a title. What is the title of it? And it's still
Land
it's
of the
still.
Diamond Sun.
Oh, so is it still
Land
available?
Land of the Diamond Sun.
Okay, I wonder if I have
Yeah.
a copy of that because I have quite a few copies of
If
your.
not, I'll get you one.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And so you mentioned that I kept noticing whenever you were talking about your music, especially going into some of the songwriting parts of it, there was this kind of like timidness about how you were presenting it. My question is, when did you step into your power in terms of being a performer? Because that's, I think that's what Arizona knows of you in terms of you playing is your power. When I hear people talk about your shows and the concerts that you perform, I hear them talking about your power. But in this
Oh my
interview, I'm
God, thank
noticing
you.
there's a part where you might have had a little bit of doubt, and we all go through that. So, do you
Yeah.
remember a defining moment when you said, "I got this"?
I don't know. I think it's always an evolution. I think it's always an evolution. I mean, right now I feel really comfortable on stage. There's almost no place else I'd rather be. But I I don't know that there's a defining moment. I think it's just been a growth and an evolution.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
there had been a series of decisions that you had to make that were kind of challenging,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, always.
And
Always.
so when you approach that kind of thing, you take it one step at a time, kind of method, or what's your approach?
Well, I've always I've always been of the mindset that when life kicks you or when a door's not opening that well for you, you find another way, you find a workaround. So it's just been a series of whoops, try this, try it this way. And like I said, it's just an evolution, but accompanied by the mindset to not lay down too long and let them keep kicking you.
Right.
And if something isn't quite working, you're nudged to, well, let's try this. Let's use it as an opportunity to
Right.
evolve something, to try it this way.
Right.
So yeah, it's that openness, I
So
think.
going back to your early life, how many brothers and sisters,
I have
and what
two
did
brothers, I'm the middle.
you're in the middle?
I'm in
Okay.
the middle.
And
Yeah.
do any of them
There's a
play, or
song
did you?
about that.
There is, right? Right.
Are there any musicians, your parents, or what do they do?
They both loved music. My mother loved classical music, and she listened to all day, La Boheme, Horowitz playing, the Moonlight
Hmm.
Sonata, all day she would sit there listening to her records. And my father sang in his glee club at Cornell, and it's made famous by Andy from The Office.
Oh,
Well, my father was in that glee club, the Cornell Glee Club.
oh, okay.
So he was always singing, and he played the guitar a little bit when he was younger, and it was his first. He was my first piano teacher.
Hmm.
But they weren't professional musicians, but they both loved music, and it was always in our house. And both my brothers, my older brother especially, is a really, really big music fan. He knows more about different bands and the players and the history than I do. But
So,
again, not.
in,
Oh, and he played in bands in high school. Yeah.
okay, and so when you were with Disney and you're at that part of your career, when you guys were touring, did you do world tours or anything that? And if you did, what were some of the coolest places you played in?
Well, my ex-husband did the world tours.
Okay.
Okay, I was raising our child and doing the home thing and holding down the fort for many years. But the biggest name was he was with Sister Sledge. He was their keyboard player.
Okay.
So we both toured with them, him to play the keyboards, me to hang out. And we did some really cool things. We went to Midem, which is in Cannes, France. It was the big music one. We had some really nice experiences. We went to Lake Tahoe with them and hung out with Don Rickles, went on yachts. And that was really fun. And yeah, he was involved with different pretty big touring bands. So through being his wife, I met a lot of people and had some cool experiences.
Cool.
Yeah.
What would you, in this stage of your career and in your musical life, what do you have yet to accomplish? You've done so much. I mean, when
Oh,
you think
thanks, Glenn.
back and I've listened. Obviously, we're friends. I've listened to your catalog, and you've got such wonderful songs. What do you want yet to do that you feel you haven't done?
Well, like I said, a lot of the big stuff was not through me. It was through the wife role. And nothing wrong with that. It was wonderful. I had great experiences. But I'd like to find my own way a little stronger as, when I grow up. But that's my goal. And be able to get out on more and more bigger stages with players I love, doing my music my way and being able to relate to people directly, like this is what I have to say, and just some bigger stages and opportunities for me.
So,
Yeah.
here we are in 2026. And when I started out, when you started out, Walt, it was still, they had
Well, yeah.
steam powered guitars back then. I
I
mean,
wasn't born yet.
yeah, you not a factor.
Not a factor.
But we were mostly in an age of you went out, you found a label, the label supported you, they put you out on tour, they stuck you in a van, they gave you a little bit of money, they stole some money from you, blah 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 blah, all that
Right.
stuff.
And you go on VH1 and
Yeah, right, all that good stuff.
yeah.
But now the yin and yang of it is you can go right to the public. You don't need a label to be an intermediary, and you can reach lots of people en masse on lots of different platforms, and you can do it relatively cheaply,
Right,
inexpensively.
right.
Do you view, and I know you have totally embraced social media. You have a great
Only
YouTube presence.
recently. I haven't before, but just this past year I've said, this is what I need to do. So,
So having lived in both of those worlds, like I
yeah.
think we all have at this age,
Yeah.
do you find this more to your liking, or that older system where it was more of a caste system where it's who you know, it's now I think it's kind of more what you know and how you know and how you apply that knowledge. I think it's kind of rather freeing that you are very much in control of your own musical destiny to some extent. How do you view all that?
It's a yin and yang. It's a mixed bag because when you're controlled or you have a machine working around and for you, they'll they'll put you in all these places and you'll just rise up and all you have to do is do your best at your art, which is what so many of us dream of. Just let me write my songs and you take care of it. So it's wonderful. But when that machine goes away, and I've seen this a number of times with people who are rising up, rising up, rising up, and something happens, and all of a sudden, the next week they're playing in the lobby of an apartment building, and people are like, well, who are you? It's like, well, last week I played this big stadium. It happens over and over and over again. So it's it's nice to have a machine taking care of everything and putting you in front of big people and taking care of your touring. But on the other hand, if you can do it all yourself, if you can build it all yourself, the people that come to you are there because they really like what you're doing and not because some megaphone was saying, "Oh, come see Annie, she's great, come see." And and when you do it organically, you organically move up into different stages, different opportunities, but it's hard.
It is hard. It is hard. It's interesting you put it
Yeah.
that way because um I have felt that my whole life. There's been while I'm growing up, um there's been like some reality shows, the what was when I was younger. I'm gonna age myself. Star Search, now
Right,
The
right.
Voice, American Idol. I never made
Yeah.
American Idol. I was never that age
Here,
group,
let me
but
age myself. Ted Mack's Amateur Hour.
You
the
didn't have
Gong
to,
Show, the
Glenn. You
Gong
didn't
Show.
have to.
So the way you said that though, it's so true because I've auditioned for those shows, especially The Voice, to
Yeah.
where they email me now and say, "Here's the audition," but I don't ever get on. I don't get past the producers because they want a story from me for that,
Hmm.
you know, for the story, for the reality. I'm not.
They want
I
to manufacture this whole thing
Yeah,
around you and push you out like a
I don't want to
product.
vote from somebody
Yeah.
because I have a story.
Right.
I'm an
Right.
artist and I want people to listen to my that's why I don't,
Right.
you get on social media, you get these messages, "Oh, I can get you 10,000 viewers in
Right.
24 hours."
Right.
I don't want any part of that. I
Good for
want people
you.
coming to me because they want to hear what I
Because
have
they
to
want
just
want to hear you. They want to hear
right.
what you have to say. Right.
So I think, I mean, I know you answered Glenn's question really well, but I think it's been like that forever. It just, social media wasn't around before to where
Yeah,
artists could do it easier.
right,
I worked with Travis Tritt many years ago, and I stood in the green room with him saying, "Well, what do I do? What do I got to do? I'm doing this, but I want to do this." And
right.
like, just don't get involved with the label. Do it yourself. And that was years ago.
Wow.
So,
Yeah,
like you said, the big engine is good, and it's good to have that. But when they're done with you, too, they're done with you. So, if you're not keeping that status or being who they want you to be, that was
right.
another problem I had. Someone wanted me. Well, they wanted. I think it was in Canada, and they said, "Well, have you ever thought of like, um, you know, portraying an Indian person? Like being Indian?" I'm like, I'm
Right,
Lebanese.
right.
I don't
Yeah.
even know anything about that culture. Why would I want to be somebody I'm
I
not?
I just said yes to that, and
See, I don't, and I don't.
See, Glenn, good attitude. Good
right,
Yeah,
attitude.
yeah.
Yeah.
but in
I
the
said how
end,
much money's involved. They said be in India. I said okay.
that's why you don't have any money. That's why you sell guitars for a living.
Oh, oh,
This is getting
oh.
No,
this is
I'm
getting close
I'm
now.
kidding. I'm kidding. But I think too, and I'll be done. I'll shut up. But I think it depends on the individual person too. Some people need that machine and want it, and some people want to. This is who I am, and go that way. And in any way you go, it's hard. You got to work at it.
Right,
You got to
right.
go get it. You got to go get what you want and put your stuff out there. Yeah.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
want to ask you,
yeah,
Annie, really
yeah.
quick. I know this is all about music, but you just went to Africa,
Yeah.
and I noticed on some of your posts that you've made, you didn't venture out to listen to any music, or was it more of a spiritual thing? You went just for the vacation of it. What I mean, and after you were there and you didn't do any, go look out for music and whatever, did you come back finding yourself wanting to write more after that adventure, or was it just an adventure in itself, nothing to do with music?
Well, the trip was it the opportunity came to go on the trip, and it was a group of people that I'm friends with and connected with. And it was an all if I stayed in the guidelines of the trip, I felt very safe, as a single woman traveling to
Right.
Africa. I mean, I had to get there by myself, but then there were a bunch of people at the hotel, and there was a bunch of people on the van to the safari place, and we were all together. So it was all curated, so I never felt in any danger or anything. And I met people there from Africa who I would go back and visit, and I hope to. And I heard about different places that I'd love to go back, and I'd love to go back, and I'd love to see this, hear the music, whatever. But this particular trip, like I said, it was all organized and planned, and so I just went with the plan.
Right.
I didn't feel brave enough to venture out on my own,
No, I
and
get that.
go check this out.
I just
You know.
wanted to ask you because as a
Yeah.
musician, we always are like, well, where's the music? So that makes more sense. Did you
Yeah.
find yourself inspired at all when you came back to write about anything that, maybe sparked while you were there?
We went to a beautiful safari place
Mm.
where, we went out on, photo safaris
Hmm.
2 times a day.
Oh,
So we were
wow.
out for like 6 hours a day in the grasslands, seeing all the big animals. And it really, the openness, the spaciousness and the naturalness of the animals out in the wild really hit something kind of deep.
Mm.
And I came back holding that spaciousness and holding that a leopard is a leopard is a leopard, that whole kind of feeling about the naturalness of the natural world, that songs are coming out of it. Ideas are coming out of it. But it's kind of funny because I did a little video on this myself. Everyone thinks I'm going to come back from Africa as Paul Simon, and have my polyrhythms going and all this. And it's like I wish that were the case. And I did hear a little of the South African music at, some of the staff did something one night. It was beautiful. But I didn't get exposed to that as much as just being out there with the animals. That meant a lot
Yeah.
because we were
Oh,
there
sure.
for like 10 days. Yeah, that was a big
Yeah.
deal.
I bet that was cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Did you get to
yeah.
eat any of them?
Maybe, but I don't know.
I'm just wondering
But we
what
we
they
don't
taste
know.
like. That's all.
Tastes like
Don't
chicken.
answer
It
him.
tastes like
Don't.
chicken.
Tastes
Yeah,
like snake.
Yeah. Chicken.
yeah,
Oh my goodness, that's funny.
Oh God.
Well, I from the theater aspect, you've done a lot of, you've done some work with theater, right?
yeah.
Here
Quite
in
a bit.
Arizona. Yeah.
Quite a bit. Yeah.
Um, I don't know if my sister ever crossed paths with you in that time period. What were the theater groups that you had worked with, and how was that experience?
It was it was great.
Hmm.
Okay, my when I released my first album in the year 2000,
Hmm.
I didn't know where to play my music because it was so kind of genreless, very classical based and singer-songwriter, but it was really different. And there were no genre clubs that I fit in. And I mean, it wasn't jazz, it wasn't country, it was its own thing. And but I realized it was storytelling, and that's what I did. I told stories. So I contacted the Herberger Theater, and I said, and I knew they had a series for young playwrights, and I said, I'm just going to write, some stories around my songs. And I presented it to Judy Rawlings at the time, who's a friend that Lily and I have in common.
Hmm.
And Judy was running the Herberger's Lunchtime Theater Company. And she said, yeah, come on in and do a show. I'm like, okay. So I thought, great, I can sing my songs and tell some stories. And I have a 2 week run. This will be really fun. And after the 2 weeks, maybe a few months later, I get an email, what are you going to do for next year? And it's like, oh. And
You got hired.
this went on for 13 years.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. So I ended up doing a new show for them every year. And I had a 13-year run, and every show was an opportunity for me to really hone some of my original music and thoughts about it. And it was great. It was
So
great.
I think that's part of what I picked up on information about you was more from the theater side of things. Seeing you step out and do what you were doing at the open mic night, I was kind of surprised to see you come out to the open mic night because I
Oh,
had viewed you as more of a concert musician. And so when you stepped out, there was this other side of you that was like, okay, singer-songwriter side. So I, I was kind of like saying, well, that's cool because I think you were following in the footsteps of what you were talking about earlier with open mics, where it's a place where you can get out there and play and be among other songwriters and
right.
enjoy their talent as well as them enjoying yours. So that's where I started getting more of the singer songwriter side of
Right.
you because in my mind I knew of just the theater side and so I haven't been to any of the concerts, but I've seen them, posted for the MIM, and I've seen them posted for. You've done some at Phoenix Symphony or some
No, I
places
haven't
that.
I haven't played with symphonies.
No, not Phoenix Symphony, but out there in that venue or those venues downtown.
Well, the Herberger.
Yeah, the Herberger. That's
Yeah,
what
and
it is. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I've been at different theaters. Yeah.
And so with the actors and everything, you have a great following. People know who you are, and so that's how I got to know you is through that. And then I was surprised to see you come out to the open mic night because I
Well,
think,
that's the funny thing is I don't think of myself as an actress at all.
yeah, well,
I yeah, I do some stand up and that's really fun. And that's what helps my shows telling stories, but I really first and foremost, I think of myself as a singer-songwriter.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad you came to that open mic the night I was there because
Oh,
I am so glad I met you. I'm going to stalk you. I know I told you
oh my
that.
God,
I
thank you.
think of you as the person that brings the best bacon to my parties. That is always my first thought. Is I hope she's bringing that
So,
bacon.
so she's a musician that brings home the bacon.
She
Bring home
does.
bacon, right.
She
Okay.
has a source, and if you're
I do.
interested, you can write her or something, find on her website. She will tell you maybe where she gets the bacon.
Oh
No,
no, my
But
inbox is going to be
people are going to
flooded
want to
now.
know that
the
now.
It's going to be flooded.
secret is out now.
So here's
Annie, I
what,
hate that we're going to have to let you go in a few minutes because we're going to have more segments with Annie, or we're going to have coffee dates because
well, that's what I
I have
was
so
Oh,
telling.
many
thank you
questions.
guys.
I was telling that. So while I was listening to all of this and watching you answer, in the back of my mind, I guess my subconscious is seeing your next EP or your next album out with your songs and your artwork on it.
Oh God, yes.
I mean
Yeah,
that
that's
that
Well,
another
artwork,
thing I learned about you
yeah.
yeah,
today.
yeah, with your
You're an
some of your
artist.
yeah, with
Like,
some of
what
your
don't you
artwork
do?
on it. Yeah, as a cover. I think that'd be cool. I think I'm looking at a cover right there, the one
I think
behind
so
you.
Oh,
too. I
Yeah,
maybe,
agree. I
yeah,
maybe.
agree.
Yeah,
that would be great.
yeah.
What would be
Kind
even
of
greater is a drawing of me
Don't
Eating
even go
eating
there.
on
bacon. A drawing of Glenn
bacon.
eating bacon.
on the cover. That would
Just
sell
hanging out of
a
your
Annie,
mouth. Yeah.
that'd
you
sell a
are
lot
good
of
at
product, right?
comedy.
That's me eating a zebra or something like that. You know.
And it's the caption is it tastes like chicken.
Yeah,
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 that's the name of the album. It tastes like chicken.
yeah. Or my African album, it tastes like kudu.
There you go. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
I don't know.
That's
Well,
funny.
it's really been awesome having you on the show, Annie,
Yes.
and getting to learn a little bit more about where that inspiration comes from. Annie's catalog really is rich, and the first time I ran into you was about 10 years ago at of all places, at Fiddler's Dream, and kind of had almost the same thought as Walt is, well, this is different. Um, uh, and it was you just know right away when your ears and your brain tell you that this music is not wagon wheel. You know, it's something much more substantial and coming from a different place. And from that point on, I've been a fan. So
Thanks, Glenn. Thank you.
continue to be a fan, and I'm going to continue to invite you to parties because I love your music, but I want that bacon.
Now I want the bacon. I'm inviting her to parties first.
Well, I got
Well,
you
I've
invited
got
to
a
the
couple
same
new
party.
recipes, so I have to remember to stick with the bacon for you.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
invited to the same parties. That's
You
right.
are,
I'll just
and
show up
there's
to that
but
bacon.
there's a specific source for the bacon.
Right,
It's not
right.
just the way the bacon is prepared; it's where the bacon comes from.
Okay,
I know this.
I thought
okay,
this was about music.
It is.
it is.
Now I'm hungry.
Yeah,
I know, me
because you know
too.
what?
Me
It
too.
all tastes and sounds better with pig fat. It's
Why
just
do
the
we
truth.
let
Sounds really
Glenn talk?
gross.
Well,
Sounds
why do
really
we
gross,
let Glenn
Glenn.
talk?
I don't know. I wish I had a mute button over here or
He
something.
Yeah.
has control of those
What are you
buttons.
gonna
We
do?
don't.
What
What
are
are
you
you
gonna
gonna
do,
do?
Annie? Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Thank you,
It's been
Anne, so
awesome
much.
learning more, and I
Thank
know
you,
I'm going to
guys.
see you soon.
Hey,
As
one
a matter
thing
of fact,
before.
Annie and I have a show
That's what I
on
was going to
February
ask.
14th
Annie has a
at
show at the
North
Nash
Mountain Brewing.
first,
On the 7th. No, the
25th.
Oh, the Nash is January
25th.
25th. It's a week from this Sunday at 3 in the afternoon with my fantastic full band cello,
yeah.
backup singer, saxophone, and
They're awesome, and
percussion.
seeing her at the
Yeah.
Nash, it's a great, it's just a great intimate venue to see this kind of music. Because I was at the last show and it was
Yeah, it's
fantastic.
one of my
And
favorite
then she
venues
has
in
a show
town.
with you
Yeah.
February 14th.
That's right. which happens to be Valentine's Day. Bring bacon.
Valentine's Day.
Right. So bring
Where
your
is it?
honey.
Where's the show on the 14th?
That one's at North Mountain Brewing Company
Oh, okay.
up in Sunny Slope. So,
Okay.
Annie, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
guys.
Yeah.
We will see
Thank you.
you along the trail soon.
Sounds good.
All right.
Take care.
There she goes.
I love
Off
her.
into the ether. Yeah, she's awesome.
Love
She's
her.
awesome.
So many more questions. We've got to do a segment too.
Well, you can ask me and I'll answer them for her.
No,
How's
I'm
that?
gonna ask Annie.
All right.
I don't trust you.
I wouldn't either.
You'll go into bacon.
Oh, I would.
It
It'll
will
end.
be a whole different show.
It'll end in bacon. Let me tell you.
Cooking with Glenn.
There you go.
Oh
That'd be
no!
a-
Don't get him started. Now
That'd be
you
a
give me
short
an
show.
idea.
So okay, so I have kind of a short list of what's happening in Tempe, merely because I didn't do any research this week on everything, and I still refer people to the Tempe Center for the Arts website because Giovanni is doing a live 48 live concert there next week, and that's going to be really really nice.
It's a great series.
I think Charo is coming up on their list as well
She is.
very soon, and I didn't even know she was still touring, so I'm sure that's going to be a very nice
I didn't
show.
know she was alive still.
Well, she's
I did-
140.
She looks exactly the same.
I-
When I saw that
seriously.
she was coming and I looked her up, I'm like, oh my gosh, like she didn't change.
I saw the poster, and I said I had the same reaction. I thought she was gone. I thought she
I
had
know.
left, and
And I love her.
yeah. So I guess if the big machine dropped her, she passed on. She kept on going, and it pick her back up later on.
She wasn't going to have it.
No, she didn't quit, man.
Not
I,
Charles.
I was I was glad to see her though too because I hadn't heard about her in years and
Right.
it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be
And
awesome.
on the I think it's the 30th, the last day or 31st or last day of this month. There is the Mill Music on Mill sessions happening. There'll be 3 artists on that stage, and that's going to be really nice. That's a really nice lineup, and I guess we can put the link on the website to that event so that people can get a hold of, grab a hold of it, and everything. So then you have all the different open mic nights that are happening in the Tempe area. Let's see. The Hackett House is going to start a series of concerts because they're converting themselves into an art gallery, museum art gallery. So
Oh,
the
cool.
outdoor space is where they're going to hold, duos, trios, things of that nature.
I gotta
for,
get signed up.
yeah, and that's going to be a lot
Awesome.
of fun coming up. The rest of it, I needed to. This has been an incredible week. So, and it's been fun, but it's just been chock full. And brother didn't do his homework. That's all there is to it. Brother
Well,
didn't do
you
his-
forgot about February 7th at the Chill Room. That's in
Okay,
Tempe,
that's
too.
exactly right. I did forget about that. And who's
But that
playing
was
at
on
that one?
purpose.
But who's playing at that?
Hey, Glenn, you're part of that.
Glenn's
Oh,
part
yeah,
of it.
that's right.
That's
Blindsiders will be
the,
there.
The Blindsider Bash.
And
It's gonna
so
be a
will
big deal.
Eric Ramsey and myself and a couple
Old
of
Town Love.
Oh, yes, Old Town Love. They're great.
And the
duo.
morning show host will be emceeing and hosting this event from the morning show, Melissa and
Cool.
Marshall. And
Cool.
it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Doors open at 3.
Yep. So that's on the short run. That's what's happening in Tempe.
What you got out there, Jamie Ray?
You know, there's nothing spectacular, no big events, but the Windmill Winery always has some great music. They've been trying to start up some local talent coming out to their venue, and it is such a great venue out in Florence. So look that up, the Windmill Winery. They've got a event calendar, and it shows everyone that's playing there. The Blindsiders play there a lot. And the Queen Creek Olive Mill has got music. Old Ellsworth Brewing has Eric Ramsey tonight on,
Okay.
what is the date today? I don't even know the date.
15th of
Yeah.
January.
January 15th, Eric Ramsey. He's actually there every third Thursday at the old Ellsworth Brewing in Queen Creek. Such a fun venue,
It is a good
great
fun.
food.
Yeah,
And
it
then,
is.
you've got Eric. What are you going to do? It's
Yeah, what are you
great
gonna do?
music.
Yeah,
So,
and
yeah, yeah.
he plays with the simple setup that he has. It works just really well
Oh, and it
with the room.
sounds
It's
amazing.
yeah,
It
it
sounds
does.
amazing. You feel it just I don't even know how to explain it because it sounds amazing. He's a great storyteller, and he's just a
He
lot of
makes you
fun.
feel like you're sitting in a living room,
He does.
intimately with him
Exactly.
because it's not overpowering. It's just there, present.
Yep.
It's a nice presence there.
And if
Yeah,
you want to learn more about Eric, he was on the show, I'm going to say about 2 months ago. So
yeah,
if you
Yeah.
go back and take a look on the website at some of the
yep.
previous shows, you'll see an Eric Ramsey show and you can
Yeah, we
learn
need
more
to have
about him
him on
there.
again too
Yeah, he was
in the
great.
future. Yeah, that was a good show. It was a lot of fun. But live, loud, and local, that's pretty much all that's going on. You just got to look up these venues. They've got music going until the end of May because when summer hits, most of these venues out here where I'm at are outside. So we come to a halt out here until September. So you got to get out there and see those musicians now because weather's
Yeah.
great. Weather's
Check it
great.
out. Check it out. Well, in the north and in the west, there's always a ton going on, and
Mm.
this time of year there's even more. And the open mic docket is really healthy with the Arizona Live Music Cooperative on Monday nights at Enchiladas over at Dreamy Draw. North Mountain Brewing Company is Tuesday nights. Kimmy's also Tuesday nights. That's at Bell and Tatum. The Fraternal Order of the Eagles does a really interesting jam. That's Wednesday night. If you're sick of Walt, that's on Rose Garden over in Glendale. Horse and Hide also does a nice Wednesday night. Country. It's kind of a country song circle thing, which is interesting. And they're like at Indian School and maybe 35th in through there somewhere. Fatso's is on Thursday. That open mic has been going on forever. And actually, Eric Ramsey used to host that open mic at Fatso's.
Who's hosting it now?
What is the guy's name? I'm drawing a blank.
Because didn't you host it for a little minute?
Who?
Didn't you host it for
No,
a
I
little
never
minute?
hosted the Fatso's one, although given my physique, they had considered it oftentimes. They were looking
We shouldn't even be
specifically.
laughing at that. Why are we? Oh my God.
Because we can find humor in things that are true.
There's always a kernel of truth in
Now
good humor.
is that 31 East Thunderbird where you're
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about?
they're up
Okay.
like that's at like a Thunderbird and
Yeah.
32nd, and that open mic has been going on forever, and it's just kind of a staple in that part of town, and they do a really nice job.
Hans
Thursdays
Olsen is
too.
playing out there, isn't he?
Who is?
Hans Olsen, I think, is playing
Hans
there.
plays out there.
Or
Eric
he-
plays out there a fair amount.
Yeah,
They
okay. I
do
knew
some neat stuff on the weekends too. Fiddler's Dream is on Thursdays, and again, venue's been around for 35 plus years. All acoustic, no microphones, no amps. Old school, but much fun. I should mention on Sunday, January 18th, I'm going to be playing with Clydeen and Mike at the Glendale Public Library on Brown Street. They do a great weekend series there. Great supporters of music at the Glendale Public Library. That's where the AZ Songwriters Gathering is on Saturday, January 31st, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. You will see a lot of people playing original songs across 6 or stages or so,
Wow.
10 minutes a shot, and there are hundreds of Arizona songwriters that gather there every year, and that's at the main library in Glendale on Brown Street. Glendale Folk and Heritage Festival is Saturday, February 28th and Sunday, March 1st. Same locale.
I'll be there on the 1st.
Cool. Oh, you're good.
I'm
You're gonna
emceeing.
right. You're going to do some emceeing and volunteering. That's awesome.
I'm
So
excited.
look for Jamie Ray there. Another thing that's going on that's really kind of interesting is John Mellencamp is going to do a 20-date tour. He's like 75 now, and they interviewed him several years back, and of late he actually is playing a lot of Americana and stuff like that. He's writing it, but he really hasn't played Jack and Diane and Cherry Bomb and Rockin' in the USA for a long time. And someone asked him several years ago, how come you're just not touring? He wasn't doing any stadiums, any just small theaters doing Americana stuff. And he said, when you're doing that big stuff, after the first 20 dates, it kind of starts to suck. So someone twisted his arm and said, look, your listening public deserves to hear these songs again by you. And he said, I'll tell you what, I will go out and I will do this and I will do it, but only 20 dates. Because after 20 dates, it kind of starts to suck for me.
Yeah.
As an artist.
That makes sense.
So he's going out this summer and he's doing 20 dates, and Phoenix is actually one of the 20 dates.
And you want me to get you tickets? Is that
Can you
where
please?
it's going?
I can walk around with a clipboard and see if they'll let me in.
I'll
It's
bring a ladder.
ladder carry on. It's coming up in August actually, and it's out at Talking Stick.
I want to go. I'm going to go to that. I love that.
And I took a look, and of course the tickets are lawn seats are $100.
Wait a minute. This is going to be outdoors?
Yeah,
I'll get us in.
August?
That's at night. Be okay.
Okay.
I'll get us in, and we can sit in the green room.
Let me ask you this. What number tour date is it? It's not like 19 or 20, is it?
No,
you don't want to
We don't want to go to that.
You don't want to go to those shows.
We want to go to one.
Yeah, if it's in the top
Number
10,
one.
he's gonna have a lot of energy.
It
But
wasn't the first night of the tour. I know that. I can't remember.
Okay.
But the actual date is August 9th is
Okay.
is when it's happening at the amphitheater at Talking
okay.
Stick.
So like I said, if it's in the first 10 and it's in Phoenix, you're probably gonna have a good show. But if it's like number 19 or 20 and it's in Phoenix, ay.
Could be interesting. But if you wanna actually have a seat,
Right?
what I saw, what was left, because I think tickets went on
Probably
sale maybe on the 14th or 13th of January, like 2 days before we're recording this. And when I took a quick look at the website, and the cheapest seat that I could find, not lawn but seat, was $265, regardless of where it was. And these were not front row seats. So, I love the guy and I love the music. I really do. I think his music is 3-chord genius. But I got to tell you, 2 tickets, $500.
Yeah, that's a lot.
You're
Wait a minute.
$500 for a couple, and then a dinner, and then parking, and you're $700 or $800 in. I mean,
Why are you buying 2 tickets?
well, I would probably bring my wife, although she might not want to go.
Does she actually want to be seen with you?
Probably not.
Does she like John Mellencamp?
She does.
Well,
But-
that's not that doesn't sound really that's not,
Not that much.
It was just like, oh yeah, she does.
Let me
Okay.
ask you though, will there be bacon? That's all I want.
I think only. Do they let you bring? They don't let you bring food in there.
No,
do
they'll
they?
let you bring no food
No.
in there.
I don't like
no,
that.
they can that.
So
That's the other
here's
part
the
of the
here's the
ticket.
thing though. You can do that, and that's fine. It really is. If your goal in life has been to just see John Mellencamp do Rockin' in the USA, and by the way, I saw it at the first Farm Aid, and he is a great performer.
Yeah.
But you can also go see a local artist sometimes for the price of a Coke or a burger.
You can see the Blindsiders for
Yeah.
free.
Hey,
Yeah, and
look,
even that's
And we do John Cougar Mellencamp.
see.
Hey, look,
We
you can
cover
go see,
those songs.
you go see them and they'll give you a Coke.
This is true. I've seen that happen.
just to show up.
Yeah.
You know, I walked into a Blindsiders gig by
You
mistake.
got a shirt. You got
and
merchandise.
I walked in by mistake. I was looking for another band, and I got a Coke, I got a shirt, I got everything. I walked out. I never saw the band. They were
Yeah.
playing later on.
So anyway, the sound check for Arizona here.
Yeah, I guess we're quickly coming to a conclusion here. But I just
Why am
find
I
that.
on this show?
But
So you
here's
guys
Because
can
we
abuse
love
me?
you.
Yes,
All this love.
that is the reason.
Go ahead, Glenn. What were you saying?
But you know, the interesting thing about the music scene in Arizona is on the map. When you've got a major tour like that coming through, and there are only 20 dates, and this is a guy that really set the bar for kind of pop rock. You know, ruled the 80s, absolutely ruled the 80s and into the 90s.
They probably took a survey and find out that he has a heavy fan base here, because when you think about the music and genre he's in, that's Arizona right there.
It is,
Whole state.
and we are so on the map nowadays musically that, you know, when Bruno Mars is putting together a tour, you know, we're the second stop on that tour date after LA.
Yep.
So I mean, we are definitely on the map, and I think we're very fortunate to be where we are, and to have the kind of community and scene that we have, and I never really take that for granted. I'm always in awe. Like I was at Walt's thing last night at TCA, and again, when you see the level of talent that hits the stage, as Annie was talking about at an open mic here, it always causes me to take a step back and say, "Man, are you lucky?
Yeah.
Are you lucky to be where you are when you are?"
Oh
you
yeah.
know?
Oh yeah. Always.
Yeah.
I felt that way my whole career out here in Arizona, because of just the opportunity to play, the whole sense of community during the whole time, and the level of talent is just, you know, you go somewhere and you see someone play and you go, I got to go home and practice.
Or I'm going to burn my guitar, one or
Right,
the other.
right,
I'm
yeah.
done.
In the
Yeah.
wintertime, I think about burning it when it slightly gets cold.
There you go. Like
But
now.
for the
My favorite part of Arizona, the cold, the
Yeah,
desert
like now.
cold.
Well, this has really been an awesome show. I want a big thank you to Annie Moscow for spending some
Yes.
time with us today. Learning a little bit more about her was truly enlightening, and I'm looking forward to the next one. So, having said what we have all said, I will say I'm Glenn Gardner.
I'm Walt Richardson.
I'm Jamie Ray.
Till we
This
meet again.
is the Desert Vibe. Now,
Till we
Walt,
meet
you
again.
have to say something uplifting and spiritual.
Yes, indeed. Until we meet again, be good to yourselves. Take care of one another, and let's give peace a chance.
What Walt said.